Greenlight to Freedom, written by Songmi Han and Lartigue Jr., narrated by Simone Park, published by Freedom Speakers International.
18. Freedom Moment. A young girl told me that someone at the river was asking for me. I wondered, who? Could it be another broker? Could it be Mom? The young girl described the person. It was a man wearing shorts and a t-shirt. It was summertime. I guessed, I hoped, it might be a broker. I was excited, but also nervous about why he hadn't come to my aunt's house. Why was he waiting outside? I told my aunt, "I'm going to wash our clothes." It was not unusual for me to go down to the river 5 to 10 times a day to collect water for various reasons. Carrying clothes, I looked around for the person. I spotted him standing along the riverbank. "Excuse me, I'm here," I said. "You came again." It was the second broker again. "Long time no see," he said. "Yes. Why are you waiting for me here instead of my aunt's house?" He hadn't knocked on the door. The broker knew that my aunt and uncle didn't want me to leave their home. "Your aunt told me last time that they can't lose you. Think about it. Your mom is sending her money because of you. You are working so hard for your aunt, so she wants you to stay here." He asked me if I wanted to follow him. My mom hadn't given up. This was now the third time that my mom had sent a broker and the second time this broker had visited. I thought about it, then said, "I'm so sorry, not today. My aunt doesn't want me to leave. I need to go when no one is expecting it. That means I can't follow you today." He asked me not to give his second, secret number to my aunt and uncle, saying that I would never get to freedom if I gave them that number. He said that I should call him if I changed my mind and he could meet me when I was ready. Every day I looked at his number, wondering if I should stay or go and what I would need to do to get prepared. Then, one day, I stared at the paper one final time. I held a lighter. I memorized his phone number. Then I burned the paper. I had rejected 3 opportunities to escape from North Korea. The first time, my aunt decided for me, but I also knew I wasn't ready to escape then. By the second time, I had learned more and was getting the courage to escape. Deciding to escape from North Korea is not a decision that affects just one individual. Entire families are affected by it. Some people escape on their own, unsure of which people around them they can trust. Others who stay behind are fearful that they will be punished for someone else escaping. People who know about but don't report others planning to escape can also get punished. It was February 17, 2011. I had been thinking about my future. For several years, I had been working hard for my aunt and uncle. I had endured many things over the years. I began preparing for a possible escape, including borrowing an ID from a friend. I wasn't in school, and I had moved around so much that I didn't have my own ID. I thought about when I should begin my escape and what would happen to me if I got caught. It was the day after the birthday of North Korea's second dictator. My aunt and uncle worked hard that day selling food during the celebrations. My aunt and uncle were talking about whether I would get married soon. However, it didn't seem that they were concerned about what happened to me. They were wondering who would take care of the house if I got married. The broker had said they didn't care about me. Now, I had finally heard it from my aunt and uncle. They weren't thinking about me as a family member. I was just a worker to them. I felt so much anger. That was it. After rejecting 3 invitations from my mom and thinking about it so many times, I wanted to leave at that moment. I decided that I was going to get out of that house and out of North Korea so I could find my mom and myself. Thinking about my life, I saw no future for myself in North Korea. If I stay here, nothing will change, I said to myself. Let's just try. If I die, then it would be better than not trying at all. Mom had paid money 3 different times to rescue me. She had sent money to support me. How much longer should I expect Mom to send money? I wanted to be with my mom, not just have her send me money. While the rest of the family took a nap, I snuck out. I locked them inside the house. I went to the post office to call the broker. Hi, this is Songmi. I want to go there. Are you sure? Please, come right now. I would meet him at the train station. I was being careful with my words, knowing that there were spies everywhere in North Korea. He arrived after a few hours. I walked around the Shinsangu train station, trying not to be noticed. Is this the right thing to do? What if I get caught? What would happen in China? Finally, I told myself, it doesn't matter. Let's just do it. For so many years, I had been crying and waiting for my mom to return. I thought, even if the guards beat me and asked me many questions, I would prefer to die. I was ready to leave my aunt and uncle, but I had mixed feelings. On the one hand, I was angry at them for regarding me as little more than a worker. On the other hand, if I got caught and admitted anything, then they could end up in prison or get executed. I was scared, but promised myself that if caught, I would die alone. I had the small knife my mom had given to me. I was prepared to use it rather than remain a slave to the government and my aunt. My mom may have faced such considerations as she planned her own escape, keeping her plan secret from even her brother, 2 sisters, and 12-year-old daughter. My thoughts were interrupted when the broker came riding up on his motorbike. My quest for freedom started at the home of the broker's brother in Hamju County in Hamgyong Province. The next day, the broker and I took a train to Hyesan City in Rangyang Province to the broker's home. He warned me, we can't sit together. His ID was for Hyesan. The ID I had borrowed from a friend was for Shinsangu. Having an ID registered for a specific area is another way that the North Korean regime kept North Koreans from moving around freely. I would need to explain why I was out of Shinsangu and so close to the border. The broker said that if we got investigated, the police would wonder why we were together and where we were going. If we get checked, just say you are going by yourself, the broker said. I was sitting away from him. They checked his ID first. There was no problem. Then they came to me to check my ID. I avoided looking in the direction of the broker. I just focused on the guard. It quickly became an interrogation. You're a student, but why is your hair so long? North Korean police were constantly catching students for various dress code and fashion violations. I haven't been going to school recently. That excuse wasn't going to work, but it was the only thing I could think of at that moment. I just wanted to get out of that situation and continue to Hyesan. Where are you going? I'm going to my grandma's house. Why are you going by yourself? Where is your grandmother's house? Hyesan. I had never been to Hyesan and could not answer any of their specific questions. It is difficult to escape from North Korea without lying. Anyone escaping had to use fake documents, lie when questioned, sneak across the border, and even lie to family and friends about their escape plans. Some North Korean defectors feel guilty about leaving without telling anyone, but they know the risk of their plans being revealed at any time. I could imagine what my mom had to go through when she escaped a few years before. "Take everything out of your pockets," the guard said. I had about 7 photos of my mom. 5 were of my mom sent from China. 2 other photos were of Mom when she was young and had visited Paektu Mountain. I took out the knife and photos. "That's it?" "Yes, that's it." When they searched my body, winter jacket, and pockets. "Why are you taking these photos?" "Because that's my mom." "Why are you taking your mom's photos to your grandmother's house?" "My grandma wanted to see them." "You can't bring these photos." He took them. I felt terrible. Those were the only photos I had of my mom. Every day I would look at the photos. The guards probably tossed them. They could probably recognize that the photos had been taken in China. That could have been another reason they were sure I was trying to go to China. "Follow me," he said. He took me to the guard office on the train. There were 3 guards there. Standing over me, the guard who had questioned me looked down at me. Slap. After I straightened up, he slapped me hard again. Then he slapped me several more times. He was wearing heavy military boots. He kicked me in the stomach. I had never experienced such pain before, getting beaten by a grown man. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't fight, and I could barely see. I curled up into the fetal position to protect myself. Then he was kicking me everywhere. He questioned me again, berating me at the same time. "Get out. Don't try to go there. I know you want to go to China. If we meet again, you will go to jail." At Dancheon Station, I was taken to the guard office at the station. There were 3 guards there. The one questioning me was a short, fat, old, and strange-looking man who seemed to be looking at me in a perverted way. "Where are you going?" "How old are you? Where's your home?" When the other 2 men went out to smoke, he got more aggressive, first touching and then rubbing my hand. "You are so young." He was leaning over from his seat, trying to unzip my jacket. He began groping me. I looked at the door and noticed it wasn't completely closed. I shouted at him, then pushed him with both hands. He fell back in his chair, then his chair fell backwards with him in it. I pushed the door open and ran out. I looked back to see that he was chasing me. "Hey, stop there, hey!" Unlike when the farmer who told me to stop when I was stealing potatoes, this time I didn't listen. I was looking for anyone who could intervene. I spotted a group of soldiers and joined them out of desperation. I grabbed the arm of one of the soldiers. I pleaded with him, "Please help me." The soldier asked me, "Why are you running? Is there something wrong?" "Yes," I said, frantic. "He's chasing me, trying to do crazy things." It would have been too direct for me to say what he had tried to do. A tall soldier asked the man, "Is there something wrong? Why are you following her?" He said, "I was trying to help her." I said, "He's lying." It wasn't easy for a North Korean girl to accuse an adult of lying, but I was not in an ordinary situation. There were about 20 soldiers there, and several of them were ready to get involved. Outnumbered, the perverted guard left. I was in a vulnerable position. After asking the broker to start my escape from North Korea, my life had changed so much in one day. I was separated from the broker, far from home, brutally beaten, chased, sexually groped, and I had no money to do anything. The tall soldier asked me, "How can I help?" "I need to call someone, but I don't have any money." The soldier unbuttoned his jacket, reaching into an inner pocket. "Okay, how much do you need?" "Not much, just enough to make a 3-minute call." He said, "I don't have much money, but I guess this would be enough." I felt so thankful. I could continue going to my mom. I thanked him so many times. He said, "I hope you can get home safely." I called the broker. In the back of my mind, I was still thinking about my aunt's warning that I could be sold in China. Even getting out of North Korea seemed to be difficult. I had no thoughts, however, about turning back. Deciding to escape from North Korea was all or nothing for me. My aunt would not forgive me for leaving and would probably want me to leave the house. Wherever I went, my neighbors would be monitoring me, not only as the child of a runaway, but also as an attempted runaway myself. The police would investigate me. I had already been beaten on the train. I had heard about what happened to Dad when he was in prison. I didn't want to imagine what could happen to me. The broker and I reached a new level of seriousness. The incident on the train was a painful warning of how easily we could be separated, how easily I could be beaten or abused, and how easily I could be captured and arrested. One wrong move, and one zealous guard could end everything for me. The broker took me to his brother's home. They cut my hair and gave me different clothes. He said that I needed to look different, as it would be dangerous if the guards recognized me. Then we went back to Hyesan to restart the process of escaping. The broker tried to contact my mom, but she didn't answer or call back. The broker told me that my mom had already spent a lot of money trying to rescue me. She needed to send money so we could start the escape. As I had rejected 3 previous rescue attempts, my mom was probably going to be surprised to learn that I was with the broker. After about a week, Aunt Yunhui called the broker. "Did you take her?" "No, I tried, but she never called me." My aunt was not happy. She had already been upset when Mom mailed a letter from China. Now, it was my turn to cause her trouble. "The police are around my house looking for her. If she calls you, have her call me. The police may go to you next." The broker said, "No problem." But it was a big problem. The broker told me, "We have to hide you." He took me to his girlfriend's house. I was again relying on others, at the mercy of the broker's girlfriend. I was watching TV at the girlfriend's home as the broker and his girlfriend were setting up something. The broker said, "Songmi, don't tell anyone about what we are doing." I wasn't sure if he was serious or not. He was often smiling and telling jokes. I was baffled. "What are you doing?" "We're smoking ice." They had a small plastic bag. I had no idea what he was talking about. "This is good," he said, talking about the drugs. He snorted something up his nose. "We haven't been able to do this for 12 hours. It feels so good." This was the first time they did drugs in front of me, but it turned out they were doing them very often. I went back to watching TV shows. The broker was showing me more of his life, but I didn't care. My goal was to get to Mom. She had been in contact with the broker for about 3 years. Mom had tried to work with a different broker, but that broker had lied twice about delivering money to us. He needed money to feed his drug habit, so he wanted to get me on the way to my mom as soon as possible. Finally, Mom called the broker. She sent money to the broker, telling him, "Pay off the soldiers for a proper escape."